y'all, it's listening Lotus with the one card spread. One card spread. Thank you guys so much for all your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. I really do appreciate you. As you know, with this segue, whatever cards come out, you do your own personal interpretation. I like to reiterate that because sometimes there are new people coming in and they don't necessarily know what this is. And I don't know how many people are actually doing this. But when the one card spread comes out, whatever cards or few cards that come out, you do your own personal. We are training our left and right brain to use your intuitive nudge as to what these cards mean for you and your situation, your life, and what you have going on. Take what resonate and leave the rest. So let's go ahead and just see what's going to come out. I just be feeling the need to like reiterate that every so often as a disclaimer because this ain't pick a card. Because somebody else asked me that and they was like, is this pick a card? No. It's what comes out is the energy. And if the energy applies to you, then you see how whatever comes out applies to your life. Okay. I thought that was it, but I ain't feeling it. Hold on. There we go. And of course, I like to always go all the way to the end just in case there's any other messages that come out. So just 1 second. And now you see what I'm talking about? This might end up transitioning to a whole nother reading. I don't know. First card came out is to reap what you sow. It says the energy that you put out will return to you. Okay. Choose wisely as you will reap what you sow. What you give or what you get, baby. Simple as that. Next card, it says to purify your heart. I feel like that is a growing theme right now where people are really going through a purification, a purging process of really decluttering so that they can focus on the things that they really want to focus on. It said letting go of lingering pain and make space for joy. Your heart deserves to feel light again. Okay. Oh, we might not have enough time for these. And it says, sit with the wound. Not everything needs to be fixed right away. Some healing begins when you are willing to stay with what hurts. And I'm going to also say, not only stay, but say what hurts, okay? Because bottling that shit in, what this whole page is about, releasing anything that may be repressed. Simple as that. Getting that shit out so that you can move on and move forward, baby, okay? And then lastly, okay, because it gets better as the cards. You see the timeline. Look, a lot of little hurt and pain sitting with yourself, and then feeling better afterwards. It says step into divine timing. What's meant for you won't pass you by. Trust the delays. They're aligning your path. So you may be going through a space, a period of time right now where you feel like things aren't moving as quick, as fast as you think that they need to. And with that being said and done, this gonna probably end up having to be a whole nother read. This gonna have to be a reading. So when y'all see this or whatever, and it say one card, because we are over. So I think with YouTube, it's like 3 minutes is the max, and we're already over that. So this just gonna end up being a reading, y'all. So let's just keep on going. With that being said and done, but if you when you do see this and be like, dang, yeah, that's how that happened. And then it says, see the karmic reflection. Always really good to understand, like, people come in your lives or whatever to reflect. There's nothing, I seen that too before in a study, and it was like people that irritate you or whatever are just showing you different versions of you that you haven't addressed yet. So if you irritated about somebody lying to you or whatever, and them the type of people that you have pretty much attracting to yourself in a sense, because when it comes to energy or whatever, if you got some bomb ass energy, you can attract anything. So keep in mind with that. But just for the sake of the example or whatever, like, you might be overly irritated about that, knowing that you be doing that to other people. Just a thought, okay? Don't kill the messenger. It says every person you meet reflects something within yourself. Learn from what they mirror back to you. Okay, so no sense in you getting irritated or whatever about what you seeing or whatever in other folks, because to a certain extent, what they are showing you, whether if it's good, bad, or indifferent, a piece of them is a piece of you, which is the reason why it's so important to understand more about yourself so that you can understand others. Okay, that's the key. Now let's go ahead and keep on going. because I want to get a little bit more in further detail when it comes to sitting with the wound and purifying your heart. Okay, let's see what's going on. Simple as that. Somebody falling for you. And I thought so because I was like, this is giving relationship a little bit. So purifying your heart so that you are making sure that, you know, when your next love comes in, for all my singles, or that you are even working on repairing maybe a love situation between you and your partner that you already, say y'all going through a rough time right now, or it don't even have to be a rough time or whatever, but you guys are transitioning into different levels of growth, that you guys are changing as amongst people, as amongst loved ones or whatever. I hope I said that right, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like, you could be in a relationship with somebody and say y'all going through a changing phase right now. And so you are understanding that there may be some different things or different sides of you that you want to explore or grow regarding how you want to move futuristically or whatever. And you understand that there's different things that you may have not addressed regarding the purification of your heart, and really just sitting with the fact that you have been hurt, that you have been through things or whatever, like you've been through heartbreak and stuff. And a lot of times, whatever, people will tend to take that energy and alchemize it and put it into other things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you still need to address with sitting with the actual wound in itself, that you were indeed in fact hurt, and allowing that hurt to process so that you can know when it's time for you be able to hear what they be saying, the trumpets. You be able to hear when the timing is right for you to go ahead and make that move. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's keep going though. Let's see what else they have. And again, please take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, everything is not for everybody. My page ain't for everybody. First and foremost. And I know that. Okay, one more time. And let's keep it a bean. It may not always be the other person or whatever, but when it comes to reaping what you sow, I do feel like that a lot of this has to do with a heartbreak, and it don't necessarily have to be like a romantic relationship. This could be regarding family and friends as well. But somebody is coming in that may be basically in love with you or falling for you, and you don't necessarily know how to reciprocate or adjust to this new level of love because you're just so used to BS. And they literally, with the reap what you sow, is like you're starting to change the people, the quality of people that you are having coming around you are speaking more towards your heart and the things that you want, the things that you desire, things that you need. Okay, so keep in mind, could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Um, and shout outs to my air signs or whatever, because they are really good at like just not giving a fuck. Love that for y'all. Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. There is a new love trying to come in, or reconciling with an old love. I'm going to always promote for new love because it's 8 billion people out here in the world, baby. And going back, it just don't sit right with my soul. But that's my own personal play. Anyway, let's go ahead to the actual reading. You could be reconciling with a old person, or it definitely could be a new love that is coming in. And with that, this is the reason why you're going through this purification process, that you're really, honestly, it's given, some of y'all need to go to therapy. Let's keep it a bean. Go to therapy. So that way you can really address, excuse me, you can really address and sit with how you're feeling at this point in time, because I do feel like whoever I'm speaking to or whatever, maybe even be a little bit confused as to, you know how you might see in the movies or whatever, and somebody is so used to so much BS going on that by the time a person that come around that even remotely reminds them of different versions of them that were kind and caring and loving, and there are more people like that out here than you think, but they so used to dealing with so much BS in a sense where they don't know how to act when the person come around that actually is trying to treat them how they always wanted to be treated. Like, I know y'all be seeing that or whatever, and I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on in these cards. And so with that, it's giving you a chance to like, hey, really sit with, like, that's why I say, and I'm glad that it came in the order that it did, because you understanding that you are finally going through a change, where you are reaping what it is that you sow. The goodness that you have been putting out to others is starting to come back to you. People are coming back to you with more of a love and loving state. But now it's up to you to purify your heart and be more openness and willing to actually see that these people are not like the last people that may have hurt you or put you through certain BS. And a lot of times, or whatever, that comes with you having to rewire or retrain your brain. And if you have not been doing that over a period of time, well, now it's time to do so, because you have good things that are coming in, like I said. And outside of new love or whatever, I don't even think that this is necessarily have to do with romantic relationships all the time. This literally could be like on all aspects, even your work, even your your friendships. Okay, just keeping in mind with that. But you having to really address and sit with how you're feeling at this point in time, and allowing that to just really just be. Okay, stillness brings more messages than what people think, which is the reason why a lot of people, including myself, will always promote for you to do some type of meditation. Okay, because you're going to have more of the answers for you and your life and your situation better than these cards or anybody else could. And that's just keeping it a three being salad with you. Okay, because when you sit long enough or whatever, you'll get the messages coming to you or whatever as to what you need to move on, how you need to move on it. But first and foremost, you need to actually address and sit in what's going on. Simple as that. Everybody that been hurt. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and keep on going. And that's why I love these cards, because they gonna get to it, okay? My Lotus cards do not play around. I gotta find a lady that did this deck. Shout outs to her, okay? Seriously. I'll do it later. Yeah, somebody wants to reach out or whatever, whether if it is a new person or whatever, or this could be potentially, like I said, it definitely could be an old person trying to come back. And what they want to talk about or whatever, and having a confession. Now, I do have some confession cards, okay? So let's go ahead. Because last time I used these on a client, I don't believe I've used these. I don't believe I've used these for any of my other readings. But let's just see. What confession could this person possibly have? What could they possibly have to say? Okay. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. So potentially they want to express. It says, I feel overwhelmed and I am drowning in my thoughts. Okay. Whether if this is you or the other person or whatever, this is something that needs to be addressed in order for you to move forward as far as you purifying your heart. Okay. That the overwhelmingness feeling that you may be feeling, the other person could also be feeling it too. This could be both of y'all, because it's definitely something new that is coming in. And maybe, just maybe, it is also scaring that person. Oh, it's beautiful. But it definitely could also be scaring the other person as well as scaring you. That the possibility that you guys may actually be a match. Okay. That you guys might actually be meant for each other. Okay. That this might actually be your soulmate. Simple as that. Okay. Just wanted to see if there was anything else. Just wanted to check. Since I've gotten this deck, it's been pretty cool. But yes, something that they may potentially want to talk about is the overwhelming feeling that they are either feeling about just how you're either making them feel overall, or just how they are feeling about meeting you. Because sometimes it can appear to feel unreal. You actually getting to the other side of your rebirth and realizing like there are more people out here that are like you more than you think. That's definitely a real thing. Oh, oh, don't act like that. Hold on. That was my fault, y'all. Hold on. trying to make sure that okay. Also gonna be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So far the water signs and the air signs, okay? Whether if this is you, because again, this is a collective read, um, or this could be the other person that you are speaking with. So, just throwing out some energies out there, okay? Yes. Oh, oh, oh. Come on. My nail acting up. That is the biggest of it. I don't think they have anything else outside of that. I do want to hold that thought. Yes. Because for the month of May, I'm definitely honing in more on the mother energy and just like loving and mother energy in itself or whatever, whether if it is just like the matriarchy as a whole. um okay, I thought that was one. But May is like literally one of those months where it really does call people to do a lot more self-reflection or just reflection period of like where they stand with people and stuff. First card out we have is competition. Okay, there is no competition. I do feel like you and this other person, even though regardless of how people make it seem like when it comes to dating out here in this world, that there are indeed in fact people that are just sick and tired of playing around, okay? And they want to do the damn thing. Um Affirmation at the top is I am yours alone. It says, into one who can trust that you alone are the source for all. Free me from the illusion of scarcity and competition. Let me trust that all needs are always richly met and that I am yours alone. So, really, I would say, really trusting your spirit guides right now, okay? And really understanding that anything that you feel like is giving you an illusion of freedom or you are starting to jump into scarcity, that could also be a thing, too. Let me pause on that. Having scarcity that what is coming in for you, you're trying to cling on to it too much, or this maybe could be the other person and why they may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed because it's basically then became a love reading a little bit. Um, the overwhelming feelings and thoughts or whatever between the two of you, or a few of you, could literally be um, I'm going to also say being mindful of having a healthy attachment and not clinging on to a person for the sake of your attachment wounds in the past, because that feels like that is a thin line in these cards is what I'm getting. Like you could very much well, both of you could be in this energy, but you could be like overdoing it in a sense, okay, where you're going to be blindsided in other areas with this competition card when it's regards to illusion. Like really make sure that you are assessing and taking the time out to know when it's time for y'all to really make a move on what y'all trying to do. Okay, because maybe right now just literally may not be it. It just may not be it. And you have emotions. Okay, I'm glad. See, that's what I be talking about. At the top, it says, I release strong emotions, because feeling overwhelmed is definitely a strong emotion, whether, again, if this is you or the other person. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But it says, change me, divine beloved, into one who can easily access all my feelings. I was about to say express, so do with that what you will. Let me bless and release anger, resentment, or bitterness. May I release any emotions that block happiness and contentment. Okay. Again, do not trick yourself out your own spot. Okay. This person or you are showing up with open arms. Okay. But somebody is restricting themselves or whatever because they haven't addressed sitting with what was hurting. Okay, you may have suppressed it this long, but you can't suppress it no more. You got to actually start speaking it out, crying it out, getting it out, all the different things work out. But most importantly, allowing some time to just really just sit, and it'll come to you when it's time. Okay, but there also definitely may be a conversation, not even there's a conversation that's going to be had. Okay, and probably an honest conversation between the both of you regarding the overwhelming feelings or whatever that you and the other person could definitely be going through and having. And that's a healthy conversation or whatever, because that way you guys will really be able to reconcile. Okay, now just may not be the time or whatever, but the love is definitely there. And this, honestly, it don't even have to be a person. This could be just more of the love that you have for yourself. Okay, that's also another way to look at this. But let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, let's just see. Let's just see. Okay. And it's abundance. Love that. Abundance comes from inner fulfillment and outer effort. Okay. Inner abundance. Did I say that? Yeah. Close enough. Abundance comes from inner fulfillment and outer effort. Okay. So working on yourself and working on making sure that, and this is a beautiful card, by the way, but working on your internal is going to affect your external always. Okay. And that's the biggest of what I have for you guys. And I think right now it's just doing more of the internal work or whatever, about really expressing either you or that person, really sitting down and have a conversation as to where you guys are feeling for each other. And as it says, falling for each other, but not allowing, um, I don't even want to say a temporary moment, but you guys, as relationships grow and evolve or whatever, you're not always going to feel this way, or there may come periods of time or whatever where these feelings may not always uh, be present in order to have such conversation that needs to be had. So it's better to have these conversations when you are in more of a loving state and speaking from a place of love. So that is what I have for y'all, okay? Let me know if this resonated, if it didn't. Either way, I appreciate all the love, likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. Please continue to support the channel. I appreciate you all. This ended up being a full reading instead of a one card spread. So in the beginning of this, you might be a little confused because it's my first time doing this. But it was so many cards that came out in the one card spread. I was just like, yeah, this is going to be a reading. So who knows? I just roll with the energy as it comes. And you guys, encourage y'all to do the same. So if you would like to text me to receive any type of information regarding my website, services, yada, 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 all of that is always in the description below of any of my videos. And I will talk to y'all when I talk to y'all. Bye.